guys would, please hit the like button and the subscribe button in the corner. Hit the bell to get the latest updates to all our videos. Now, we got a lot of changes that already been taking place in Raid. We got a lot of changes that are fixing to come over the next few months. And we got a lot of changes we need to the game that they haven't talked about doing yet. And I want to go over some of that and some of the biggest beefs I've got about what needs to be changed in this game. Now, if you look, we've got clan balls. Now, there's this thing out here called the Great Void. They say in the next little bit we're going to get it opened up. I don't know what's going to be in this, but they've said that the rewards out of this are going to be even better than the Doom Tower, is what they're claiming. Now that's going to be hard to do because Doom Tower gives you some of the best rewards there are, and the thing about it is they're saying it's going to be more difficult than Doom Tower is. Now I'm up to the top of Doom Tower hard, so if it's harder than Doom Tower, it's going to take a lot to do it, and maybe they're going to give you the rewards they say that they're going to give you. I don't know about that yet. That's still sometime in the future before they're going to open this up. But they said that's coming probably the first part of next year, maybe, I think, the early part. Now, and of course, we've had a lot of updates, like, the dungeons are all finally done. We have the Sand Devil, we have the Phantom Shogun Grove, we have all of it done, where we can where we can ascend our armor. I mean, we can ascend our armor and we can ascend our accessories. But this is one of the biggest beasts I have in the game, is those two. Now, of course, I've got a beef about Tag Team Arena because it's pretty damn useless. But when you look at dungeons, and you go in here, and you've got like force, you don't have to actually ever fight 20. It's better to fight 20 because you're guaranteed to either get the medium or the large potion, but you don't have to fight it. And you can go, and a lot of times, you get those pots from clan balls, from your arena at the end. There's a lot of places you get those from, and so you have a lot of choice for getting those. And when you look at your champs and you want to send them, if I can find one that hasn't been ascended down through here. But let's say I'm going to ascend it. Now he's ascended. Let me find one. Let me go to Tavern first. I'm going to do the ascend. I get rid of him. All right. So you go down through here and you start looking for a champ to ascend. And let's say I've got a champ that is. I had one up here. And I got a champ here. And I've got two of these pots and I have two of these. But I don't have all of them. But I can go into my potion mixer and I can mix all these up. And I can go in and I spend a few coins in that and I can get those two and I get those two. And I can fully ascend him out now. Because I have a potion mixer. Wait a minute, did I not get all of them? Oh, I need two more of the blues. All right. So I do two more of the blues. And so now I can finish him out. By doing that. All right. But now if I go in, and I don't think I've got a lot of pots left for that. I usually use them. And I usually use them on anything I got. Because, at some point, when I go through here, and I'm going to upgrade the armor. And I want to ascend it. I've got 367 of these. And I've ascended armor down to the ones that I don't even use. I've got 29 of these. I don't usually fight the high level ones. I could probably throw together a team that would. I've got Godseeker and I've got Ninja, and I know if I get their speeds up, then they can do the actual 25 level because they can keep reviving each other fast enough, or a Godseeker can. But it's also extremely slow. And so you got to let this thing set overnight doing this all the time. When I looked at the amount of time it's going to take just to sit down and do this and do it overnight, and you're still, you're not going to get a lot of the high-end ones. You're going to get a lot of the medium ones. But when you go through and you look, you can't actually mix those like you can in the other ones. And they need to make it where you can do a potion mixer for those. I mean, that's just bottom line. I mean, why do you mix all the other potions together and those two you can't mix together? And but they don't allow you to do that. I mean, that needs to be. They should have thought about that on day one. I mean, when you go through here and you look, and I usually just fight 13. Why? Because it's a minute. I usually it's a minute and a half run, and I can run the other ones on up. I'm sure if I sit down and make the right team. But you're talking about a lot more energy, and you're talking about you're gonna get a lot more of these little low end pots. Every once in a while you're gonna get some of the mediums and the large, but you never get just like in all the other dungeons. At 25, you would only get the medium and the large part, but you don't do that. You're still going to get all three, and you wind up you send the low end of your armor out on champions you don't even hardly ever even use if you do much of this. And I finally got to the point I was like, I don't really care. I mean, it's not. I mean, to do this stuff up, like when you look at some of this, like when you go in and let's look at your armor and show you what it looks like. Okay, I got 522 hit points. I upgrade this the whole way. I'm only going to get 870. So in the first three levels, I've already got the lion's share of the hit points. And 800 hit points is not a lot for, I mean, yeah, every little bit helps. But when you're talking about 800 hit points out of 42,000, 43,000 hit points, it's not a whole lot. I mean, another 300 is not going to make that big a difference. Now, all of your stuff up at the top is going to be just basically, it's a flat stat that you don't get anything but flat. You'll get, like when you look at the defense, and her defense is already up to, 34, 4,200, and you got 26, and you can get up to 80. So you're talking about 54 more defense points is all for a lot of work, a lot of energy to be able to get this up. And to get this thing up, even if I start fighting 25 and I fight it a lot, it's going to take a ton of energy to get this thing, just this one piece up, just to get there. And so you look, and even this is a defensive flat stat. You don't get to re-roll this. There's no way of doing anything. But like when you send this thing up, it's like when you look and you send this thing up, it's only going to get 82. Also, so you already got most of it. You got 38 more you can get for doing 3 more levels and burning up thousands of energy for it. And then now, you've got the accuracy up to 9. Speed is 1. It's just like, it's not worth a whole lot of this. I mean, when you start looking at, okay, defense, and this is going to give you 80, and you're looking down here, and here's a defense on this one that is a percentage-wise, and I got a 6% of this. So that was 72, that was almost 78 is what that's going to give you by this, just by enhancing this. So that's like one enhancement, that you get for free, no energy spent from your faction wars. And it can go up to 8% on this piece. So it would be better, this one enhancement on this one piece of gear is better than defense by burning thousands of energy. And of course, there's flat stats on that one. This one, you got the attack. Well, even if this thing had an attack stat, and you don't usually get that because there's only 3 pieces you can get a percentage one on. And so a lot of times you still come out with the flat stats because when you look, you have to find one that's not been enhanced at all. So when you come out and you look at this, and you're going to sit down and you're going to upgrade this, and you're going to send this, you got a chance for HP percentage, attack percent, defense percentage, accuracy, resist. Well, So you've got 3 percentages out of 8. So you got less than a 50% chance of actually getting, and then you have to worry about the fact that, well, what are you looking for? I mean, yeah, defense and HP help with everybody. There's no doubt about that. But what if you have an attack champ? I mean, an HP champ. You get an attack percentage roll on that piece. But all the other substats are what you want, but you've got an attack percent. Well, you're not going to take that piece off. You're still going to use that piece, but it's not going to do you any good. I mean, the first time you enhance it, and you can't re-roll that. I mean, they may fix that later on, but right now that's the way. That's what you got. That's what you're going to get. And so you've got, like, when you go through and you look, and I've got champs like that. This is an HP champ. Only got HP skills, attack skills. So when you start looking at the artifacts down through here, it's got defense, it's got an attack. It's got an attack on my shield. That's not going to do any good whatsoever. I'm not going to take this off. I got a roll and an HP. It's maxed out at 5% extra. Gives you the crit rate. It's got the 3 rows in speed. I'm sure not going to take that piece off. And then, you've got the crit damage, which helps. But of course, one of the rows got into the 12% for that. But you could re-roll that and try to re-roll it. But I would never do that because it's crit damage, and that might re-roll into something else that you don't want. Now, you've got the HP on this, defense, and then you've got the HP, and I got an HP percentage on the boot, and I got really lucky. But now, I know that some of my other champs, I didn't get that lucky. I mean, when you look at like Ninja and stuff, you got the attack there, the HP there, the attacks there. You got a defense. You got a flat attack and a flat HP. So you got one piece of armor with a percentage thing. And yeah, the defenses always makes them live a little bit longer. But but if you're talking about you're wanting a nuker, you want the attack percent rose. But you don't get to pick that out. It is what it is, and I realize that's the roll, and that's not so bad. But but when I go through and I want to enhance this piece of gear up, and I want to go up and I want to boost this up higher, and I want to ascend it. I can't roll these things. I can't sit down and I can't say, hey, I want to move these into this or these into that. I can't do it. I don't have a potion mixer for it, which I think they actually need to come out with, honestly. They need to do it for that. They need to do it for the other. They say they're going to fix the part where when you go in and you roll a piece of gear on a champion and like you try to rework it, and let's say you got a legendary piece of armor and you have the HP, but like this, it didn't get the rows that I wanted. I mean, obviously I was wanting it in the HPs, an HP champion, but it didn't have. I mean, the defense always helped. I got the 2 rows in speed, which really helped. But I didn't need the attack and I didn't need the other defense. But when you look, I got the rows and the all and the speed in it. That did really good. I got 1 crit rate, 1 accuracy. That's not too bad. But and I got the rows and the HP here. I'd rather have an HP percentage wise. I got the crit rate rows there, but and a crit rate and a speed roll there. So I got some pretty good rolls out of that guy. But now I've had some that I just didn't get good rolls at all. I mean, there's some that absolutely the rolls turned out terrible. And, when you start looking at some of this stuff, it's like he's an HP champion. I got the 2 rows in it. I got 1 roll in HP, 1 roll in defense. So really I had both rows in it. I got all resist. Nothing went into the HP, nothing went into the speed. I could have got much better rolls out of that. I got the resist again. Nothing went into the HP again. It's the same way down through here. And this champ's really old. I haven't redone his gear. But, but I could probably get some better gear and keep re-rolling. But when you're talking about rolling and rolling gear and a lot of coins to do this, And you know, and then you still, I've tried to sit down and do some of the gear on some of these champions, you know, because like one of the set of gears that's really good is, you know, your relentless gear. You don't get it very much. It's hard to come by. You only get it out of winning some of these events and stuff. So when you go down through here and you start looking, you know, you're at it, a lot of times you'll get a piece, and it may be an epic piece, 6-star, and that's some of the best relentless you're going to find. So, but a lot of times it's like you'll get stats that are just absolutely awful. Like, you know, you'll just like get this defense stat. Now, you're going to try to upgrade this, and you're going to try to enhance, you're going to try to re-roll it, rework it. It won't rework because I've already tried to do that. I already had like a resist stat in it. I tried to get it out. Well, what did I get? I got a flat defense stat. I've got tokens to re-roll it, but I can't re-roll it. I got 15 of them. I got 15 tries to get it into a decent piece of gear. But they don't have that fixed yet. They say they're going to fix that where you can just keep re-rolling it as many times as you want to try to get that. I mean, when you start talking about, oh, well, you know, I've got a legendary piece of gear, and, you know, but it's got really terrible stats in it. You know, but you can keep re-rolling that. But mythical stuff, they don't even have anything to re-roll it, to rework it at all. And they need to have that because you get mythical stuff like 1 out of 50, even when you're fighting the hard dungeons all the time. And then you'll get a flat stat up top. You can't rework it. You might as well just sell it because it's absolutely useless to you. So they need to fix that part of it too. I mean, there is a part where they need to, I mean, because gear in this game is really hard to come by. And really good gear is, you know, is almost impossible to get for all your champs. That's why you had to pick out the gear, just the specific one for your, like your clan boss, your arena, and for your doom tower. And when you're talking about, you know, like I want to try this other champ out. Well, unless I'm willing to take my gear off of one champ and stick onto another one, which is really costly. You know, you're talking about to do that, you know, if you've got all 6-star pieces and it's all maxed out, yeah, that's going to cost you uh, 900,000 coins, almost 1,000,000 coins to move it off, and that much to move it on. So you're talking about almost 2,000,000 coins just to refit a champ, just because you want to try a new champ out. And so, and even then, if it's something for like clan boss, it's still not going to work because you've got to get the speed exactly right. And all these champs' base speeds are just a little bit different. I mean, when you look down through here, their base speed's 110. This base speed's 109. This base speed is 99. So there's a big difference in your speeds on all these champs. And with clan boss, as everybody knows, has been playing a while, that's extremely hard to get. And you know, when you look down through here, you know, like, yeah, I fought spiders so much, I got all legendary gear on a lot of these things, and the stuff that I don't have, just because they're old champs and I haven't went back and redone it. But you know, gear is make or break in this game. You know, I mean, having really great gear in this game means everything. And you know, it's just like this piece of gear right here. I mean, I really would rather have a 6-star piece that had the 60% defense, but I needed the crit rate to get the crit rate up to 99%. And yeah, if it had another 10% of defense, it'd be even better because he's defense based. And you know, and eventually I'll probably roll one and I get the right percentages in for the crit rate, and I'll probably get a legendary piece that has like a 6-star legendary that has the crit rate and the speed in it, and I get this up and it drops out that attack and maybe some defense part, and I get some extra stuff, but I don't have one right now. But you know, there are some really good champs out here, and you know, and all of them are not equal, you know, and they shouldn't be. But there are some of these legendary champs that really need to rework because they're really just not worth anything at all. But you know, that's the main thing I see that they really need to do in the future. So you know, they need to sit down and they need to have these pots where it makes it easier for you to do this with. Because nobody wants to sit down and spend as much energy as it's going to cost to get all this stuff up to 6. And I realized if you had it all fully ascended, all your gear, and you're facing somebody else with the exact same champ, with almost the same armor, that extra little bit would make or break you in something. But it's not worth that. I mean, for maybe like arena fight, it's just not worth that. I mean, it's just not worth all that energy. You need that energy for other things. But guys, that's the video. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you would, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give it a like.